Haha, psych. You didn't expect that one, huh?
I was waiting for the trailer, and that takes another minute.
No, we were late, so I thought let's take the short version.
Usual.
So how are you guys doing?
Okay.
I'm tired. I just went boxing today in the morning, but instead of doing one round, like high intensity for a half hour, which is the normal, I just say, hey, I'm going to do it again because there were two groups, so I just joined the other group as well. I feel broken.
Yeah, right. I don't know why you do exercise at all. I don't get it. Why exercise? Yeah, more chances to get hurt, and you need to cancel your work. You can't work. Why do people exercise? I don't get it.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why you should exercise, but
but why boxing?
Boxing was new to me. I just joined the box group 2 years ago, and it's more for like technique and cardio. It's not like beating up people or something. It's more like high intensity cardio, group work, teamwork, like that, and it helped me a lot. My cardio exercises went up, rising very fast, because if you do high intensity, everything grows, muscles, your lungs, etc. So it's better for me than running 2 hours and then 2 hours back, just for instance, a 1 hour back. This is more it gives me more results, and it's also I don't know, it just gives me some kind of a peace in my head. It's a very great stress relief.
Yeah, so you have a trainer?
Yeah, we work in a group. Like it depends. We had today 12 people, but sometimes it's 8, sometimes 10. It depends how many join. You can join whatever you want. So there are 2 groups. One at 11 and one half hour later.
Yeah, that's way nice. I think running is the most boring exercise you can do.
I just can't run. No. Boxing is great. Like I said, it's you have nice connections with people.
On your nose. There's your connection.
No, we don't punch people in the face. That's not what we're doing. That's no. We have some kind of a boxing. How do you say? Where you can. Yeah,
you have certain areas where you can hit. Yeah. For me, it's way too physical. I did fencing, which I love. I love fencing.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of boxing.
That's great.
It's kind of boxing, but then with more distance, and I like the distance, because people, when they exercise, they can smell horribly, and when you have the distance, you can't smell them. The bad thing is you're all covered in this white thick suit because it protects you against the points. Right. And then you only smell your own sweat. Is also not recommendable, but it's a good sport. The same explosive action and exercise you get with boxing as well.
Yeah, I only have the tape that I wrap around my arm and my hands, and the boxing gloves. That's all I need. Mm-hmm. You don't have like wear a mask or a head thingy. That's not what you have to do. And then like if people are just going on the what's the thing that you call so Zak, boxzak? What's the word?
Punching bag.
Punching
Punching
bag.
bag.
That's exactly. So
They
then
always called me
you-
when I was at school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
my nickname, punching bag.
I don't think that's a good nickname.
That's why my nose, I
Yeah,
kind of have a boxer nose. Here it's a bit
yeah it's
screwed
crooked,
here.
I mean,
Here.
like a witch.
But I have a very sensitive nose. Please be careful. That's why I can't box. If I get one hit on my nose, it's like flat on one side because I don't really have a bone in my nose.
Oh, really?
It was removed. So
Good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
they broke my nose at the hospital because I couldn't breathe very well, so they broke it and you know put it back or something like that. Now I can breathe again. But
yeah,
like I
that's why.
said, we don't go between against other people and just punching. We punch on a punch bag.
Nah,
So
that's
one
boring.
stands behind, one stand before, and then you
The,
go
the,
loose.
the, the great thing with boxing, or at least with fencing, I think with boxing against other people as well, you play also kind of this strategy game in your head. Should I
Right.
go hit low, high, or should I parade? Should I block and
Yeah.
then punch? Then attack. I think there's also this strategical mind game you're doing. At least with fencing, you definitely do that. It's like chess
Right.
with explosive action. The things where you get hurt with fencing is mainly your thumb. If you put it against the cover of
Hmm.
the the saber or
Yeah.
floret,
Yeah.
never do that because when you hit and you hit quite hard, which you doesn't really need to do, but if you do it, then your thumb can go break. Or
Painful. Yeah.
yeah, that's also painful.
Yeah. But my boxing teacher just sometimes stands in the middle of the room, and then he has some bags with him, and then people can have some technique and punch him and try to kick him, etc. So that as well. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I
The,
lost a
the,
lot of weight, and my conditioning is now good, very good.
very good.
That's
The
Cool,
why I'm
man.
thing The thing with fencing is you need to learn to relax. When you tense up your muscles and you
Mhm.
want to hit a person, you don't
Right.
need to hit a person hard. You just need to hit him, and
Yeah,
you're
it's done.
already it's done. So, but if you tense up, you reach.
Extending.
You overextend. You
Mm,
just need
okay.
to make small movements, and
Yeah,
that's fine because
it's more
you
quicker.
let the blade do the work, and you
Oh,
can
okay.
hit
It's a
hit
form
more
of control.
precisely. So that's
Right.
why we always practice with the tennis ball. Try to bounce the tennis ball and to hit it with the saber,
Oh,
for
okay.
example.
Cool.
So you really need to learn to relax, and that's difficult as hell.
Yeah.
Really, to relax, really, really relax. That your shoulders are hanging, and you still
Really.
need to put up your arm.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have real issues with real relaxing. When you pick up
Yeah. True.
your
I can
shoulders
relax either. Very
and
hard.
they release it, that they really drop down. Usually, people just hang with the shoulders where they are.
Yeah, I mean, because for instance, if we are boxing, you need to do this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
You
It's
need to be
boxing.
tense, all get ready,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. What do you do, Brink?
I'm
he's
going
drink.
to.
He does
I'm going
drinking.
to. Yeah, yeah. I was about to greet 58 Underground
Yeah.
Hey,
Uh,
man,
to
is
our
welcome.
stream.
Underground a new visitor on the stream?
No, he's been here before.
Really? Oh, maybe I missed that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
one or two, one or two times.
Hmm.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Don't mind if I'm,
Uh,
eating a little bit.
sure,
It's a
man.
bit annoying, but you go ahead.
Hey, Marinus.
Yeah.
Marinus, I want to show you something.
Really?
Let me show you something.
Hmm.
You have your own channel where you do reviews,
Yeah.
and I often watch your reviews.
Really?
Sure, man. And you had
Yeah.
one a little while ago of Gen 13 Wired.
Mm.
Remember?
Yeah. I have it.
So
Just give me a second.
I thought, yeah,
This one.
yeah. and you talked, this one.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
join
You
the
talk,
party.
no, man. But you talked about the art, about the artist. You didn't recognize the artist,
No. But
but I
that's
did, and I didn't have this particular comic, so I ordered this one.
really what?
Thanks to you, man.
Really?
So your channel made me buy this one. Um,
You're an
and
influencer, Marinus. An
yeah,
influencer.
and
Uh, Where's my influence money? I need to do a TikTok or something, you know?
so
Yeah, but you didn't know the comic, Gen 13 Wired?
no, no. It's a one shot.
Yeah.
It's a one issue.
Mhm.
I never heard of it before, but I heard of Richard Bennett, the artist,
Right.
because he is from Brass. I told
Yeah,
you about that.
I looked it up. Brazos, was that from Wildstorm or was that Image? I'm not entirely sure anymore.
That's Image.
Wildstorm. Oh, Image. Okay.
Yeah, but Wildstorm was under Image.
Right.
So
Yeah. Before DC took it over. Yeah.
check it out.
Holy shit.
This is it. It's super format. Look at this. It's really big. This was
Yeah.
a special edition. It's by Richard Bennett, right?
Yeah.
Look at all these freaking details, man. This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's only the ink work. So
Wow.
this
I love it.
was
So it's black
a
and white.
special edition. Check it out, man.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man, I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
about
cool.
a biotech suit?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
It's about this guy who injects himself with something, and his body transforms into this robotic being.
Oh, that's cool.
And the art is fantastic.
Yeah, man, 90s comic. You can't go wrong with that.
So I thought you'd like to see this. So
Yeah. Well, great, man. I'm going to look that up somewhere. Maybe I can get it. Maybe on eBay or what else, somewhere else.
yeah, well, maybe this version, and otherwise you can get the original one,
Yeah.
the comic book format.
Yeah, that's
In
okay.
color.
Too. I mean, the detail in that comic is brilliant. So
That's why they brought out this extra edition, because you
Right.
need to see it large.
Mhm.
So anyway, it was a bit of a challenge to find a topic for today. We have some, but I'm not sure if we can fill the entire hour with it, but we can try. And if not,
Sure.
we will
There's
see
always topics to talk about.
where it takes
When
us.
it comes to
Sure, man.
comics.
So the subject, the topic, I was thinking about characters and aging.
Right.
Most characters in superhero comics basically stay the same age. You have some references, often years later, that something happened before, so you know time has passed and things change in the character's life. For instance, Peter Parker, he isn't a teenager anymore,
Mhm.
but the real age is kind of ambiguous. You don't really know. And it's not really set in real time. Like, for instance, comics like The Savage Dragon.
Right.
The Savage Dragon was made that every book was 1 month in the life of the Savage Dragon. So he actually ages. And this comic is going on now for 25 years.
Right.
So all these characters are 25 years older now.
True.
So are there things you prefer? Do you think superheroes should age?
Yes and no. Like It's hard. I mean, when I look at well, let's say I grew up with, and you guys also with certain comics. So you grown attached to, like, let's say, instance, Superman, right? So if Superman is getting older and older while I'm growing older too, so he should be now have, I don't know, maybe is an old guy. I think certain superheroes should be timeless. You know, I enjoy the Flash, I enjoy Green Lantern, I enjoy Batman, I enjoy Spider Man, right? I enjoy the Hulk. Um, if you do, let's say, if the problem is with if characters grow older, you need to continue the series with other characters. And I think there lies or could lie the problem. The reason that people or the companies stick with the same characters over and over, because it's very hard, it seems, to create new legacy characters. Because the legacy characters, not all of the legacy characters are accepted in the mainstream, right? So if you say, let's say, Batman and Robin, Robin became Nightwing. Is that correct? Is that the right word? Yeah,
Yes.
Nightwing. Yeah, and he is becoming his own character. I mean, that's great, but there was a story that Nightwing took over Batman's mantle because he was dead or something, and he wasn't bad for the role. I think, in my opinion, um, Dick Grayson should become in the future the new Batman. But the problem is there's also a lot of other Robins. We have Tim Drake. We have I forgot the name, the guy that's now becoming Red Hood. I forgot the name of the character. And we have now Damien, his official son, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to Superman, we have Superboy.
Damian Wayne, by the way.
Damian Wayne, yeah.
I think that's a silly name,
Yeah.
silly combination. Damian Wayne. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. But
Yeah, no,
anyway.
exactly. But there was a did you read Kingdom Come by Alex Ross and Mark Waid?
I have it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about Mark Waid as a person, but I cannot deny that Kingdom Come is probably his best work, or one of his best work. And Superman was older then. All of the superheroes, you know, like Power Girl, Green Lantern, all the heroes were older, and the younger generation took over, but they make a mess of it. So they try to rein him in, and then something terrible happens. There were some legacy characters that I actually like the daughter of Starfire and Dick Grayson. You know, I'm not sure what the name is, but also
too bad.
another son of Batman, I believe, and another combination. I like those two because the daughter of Starfire and Dick Grayson and the son of Batman, I believe, they had a relationship with each other. I like that very much, but it's very hard to create characters that also, you know, being accepted by the masses. So I think if you do, you know, like fictional or Elseworld stories, what if they call, or what if stories, or maybe another timeline, yeah, why not? You can try it, but not, like I said, we have also Wonder Girl. The original, I think, could take over the mantle of Wonder Woman. But now we have another Wonder Girl, and I believe the Wonder Girl from the past, I mean, years and years and years ago, is now becoming Donna Troy. So I think for today, if in modern day, it's nearly impossible to do that. If they decide to say, hey, Peter Parker's becoming an old guy, Superman is becoming an old guy, I think people will reject all the new characters that come after. In today's modern society, in modern timeline, it could work because we had the Teen Titans, you know, from DC Comics. People love the Teen Titans.
But the Teen Titans existed next to the older characters,
Exactly. Yeah.
so it didn't replace them. You know.
Yeah, that's true. But they are basically similar characters as, you know, Wonder Woman, the Flash, and Robin, and except for a couple of few. So hey Ryu.
Hello, Ryu.
Hey, Ryu.
Welcome, man.
Yeah. So taking over the mantle, especially I think DC Comics did it better than what Marvel is doing, because when it comes to the Green Lantern Corp, there's a lot of people that can fill that place, right? Because there is just a big corp. When it comes to the Flash, we have Kid Flash. I forgot his name, not Barry Allen, but what's his name? With the red hair. Jesus.
I don't know, man.
Let me Google it.
I'm not really into
Kid Flash.
Flash.
Let me double check. Kid Flash.
Let me see what 58 Underground says. The new characters have to be as strong as the originals, but that is easier said than done. The old characters have a legacy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's where I don't get. Why does the new legacy characters need to be stronger than the original? Isn't it more interesting when they have more weaknesses or other things that they struggle? They have to struggle with new things, right? They have to struggle with contemporary things nowadays. All the characters, the originals, they had to struggle with things that were happening in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And the new ones have to struggle with contemporary things we have facing here now in society terms as well. So I don't think they necessarily need to be stronger or as strong. Look at the Ray Sky Palpatine crap. She needs to be a Mary Sue. She needs to be stronger than Luke Skywalker. Fuck that. It doesn't need to be.
No.
I think when it comes to legacy characters, I think it's more like expectations, because if you have a certain power set that you like, for instance, Superman, and somebody would replace that, they expect basically have the same kind of superpowers.
I disagree. Like we said before, it's not necessarily only the power set. I think it's also the character.
Yeah, the character. Right.
Yeah, but I think if you have a smooth transition, not a forced one, it can work, and you can do it on multiple years. Like you said with Donna Troy, I think she's a perfect replacement for Deanna. But they skipped. They missed the boat on that one, and there are more characters they missed the boat on, because the original Wonder Woman is still very popular, and that's why they keep these characters alive, basically, because they bring in money. They are still popular. But sometimes when you have struck gold and you have a character that you've slowly been building up, and it's becoming more popular than the main character, and you can do it like phase him out slowly, then it can work. Yeah.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have this character called American Bliss, right? And I have decided that in the genuine universe that I don't really want characters to age. Time exists, but everything is relative. It's comics, and in 20 years time I want American Bliss to be just as sexy as she is right now, so she doesn't really age, and she is a legacy character. Her father was very famous and very powerful, but he died, so the villains killed her father and she takes over, but she is not stronger than her father. In fact, her power level is about 20% of his, and she has the same villains to face. So that's exciting to me.
And also for the character, because he has to live up in his shadow all the time. But the issue here, you created a new character, and you have this already written in her background. But what we're basically talking about, already pre-established characters in real life, in our world.
Yeah, I was just tackling the topic about legacy characters being stronger.
Yeah. But indeed, I think that's way more interesting what Dave describes, because you put the legacy character in an extra, hurdle to come over, to have a struggle in a life. I think that's interesting. and you always look up to your parents usually and see them as examples, and then you can build in storylines if the originals were not as good. Maybe you find a secret they hid because nobody's flawless, and you find some skeletons in the closet, and how does it affect your view of your predecessor? Basically, there are so many things you can do with legacy characters.
Yeah, well, but like I said, the majority of the fans need to accept those legacy characters, right? So what I just like in this, for instance, we have Batman Beyond. Batman is an old guy, and I believe the character called Terry takes over the mantle, and he's been now like an established as a well, he's Batman, but he is Batman from the future, if you will, because um, Bruce Wayne is an old guy, and the majority of the people just accept that. But he's completely different character. The costume is different, his demeanor
Yeah.
is different, his character is different. So, but somehow people always go back to the original characters because
Yeah.
that's what they grew up with. They look up to those characters because of what they've done, their stories, their characters, or whatever. So for me, personally, aging up characters, not for me. But if they do that in a separate storyline, like an alternate universe or something, I'm game. Like Kingdom Come, it's great stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's how it's done usually. Yeah.
I think they do that. They also did it with the Peter Parker the Spider Girl series, where they had this alternative, basically timeline where Peter and Mary Jane were still married and they had a kid called May, and she was Spider Girl. And
Right.
I think that
Oh,
was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
fairly popular series because they keep continuing it at a certain point. And she was wearing one of the coolest Spider-Man costumes ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
what really bothered me is that the costume was basically the same, and they should have done something different.
Yeah.
I would have liked
Well-
it if they made the mask so the hair was free.
Oh no! Don't do that! Stop it!
Yeah. I
Like
didn't
this,
like the entire bold look on the female form. It
I
wasn't
don't
for me.
know. I think it worked for the Spider Girl of how the artist is called Ron Frans.
Yeah.
But
By the way,
yeah,
can you guys see this? What I shared, or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, well, we have here a female legacy character of Green Lantern. We have here the daughter of Starfire and Dick Grayson. We have a daughter of a long legacy of Flash. Of he's a tiger. What's his name? Ted something. I forgot his name, his superhero name. And this is all of a Queen, right? Green Arrow.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm a big Alex Ross fan, and here we have Superman and Batman argue and come together at least. But yeah, like I said, if there is an alternate timeline with legacy characters or aging characters, I would wholly recommend people reading Kingdom Come. It's fantastic. That's just the only thing that I wanted to share.
Yeah. So does Batman have a neck injury?
Yeah, I
Where's
believe
that
so. Or
massive
maybe
thing?
something with his spine. I'm not entirely sure, but he needs
Right.
some kind of equipment to move or it's something like that.
Okay. 58 Underground says the villains have evolved over time. You will not see many comics nowadays with a hero stopping a lone gunman robbing a bank. So heroes also have. Yeah, it's usually superhero versus supervillain.
Yeah.
It's no longer these street level crimes that they tackle.
but I agree with 58 Underground. To be honest, our times change, and so our view of the world changed as well, and we are not as ignorant or innocent as we were young before. And I get also what you guys are saying, that you also have this nostalgic feeling. You want to read the characters you had as a kid because it gives you also safe feelings. You're entering your safe space, and nostalgic feelings, being warm and.
No, I don't need a safe space.
I also am wondering if I would trigger you, but
I'm
Um,
not triggered.
but I'm
These modern
also
words, stop it.
for for the evolution. I like like what you said before. Peter Parker is not a teenager anymore, and you don't know his exact age now. I don't think it's important,
No.
but there is always this kind of formula that Marvel time is time slower than our real time. So I would always think that Peter Parker is around the 26, 30s right now.
Yeah, he's
He
now
he
30.
married very young age. He divorced. Sorry, his marriage was nullified at a very young age. But I think the evolution of a character, I think it makes them more richer than if they stay like Tintin. If they stay the same
Yeah.
every album, it would get bored quickly. I already had this as a kid. I always was reading Suske or Tintin, and I always said, okay, let's go a year further, see how much they evolved, because all their experience in their adventures, they form the character, like the Indiana Jones character, for example.
Yeah, but we all know how that
I like that.
I mean, Indiana Jones 4, everybody.
All right, not
Yeah.
that
Indiana
that
Jones
not.
5. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm worried, very worried about that. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan, and I love the three original movies. And I watched the Young Indiana Jones series because I'm also quite a history fanatic buff, and so having Indiana Jones going through the early 20th century is very nice. And
Yeah, but
then you see him as in young years and what happened, and you see him in his older years when he's archaeologist, and even from movie to movie he progresses basically.
Right.
I like that. I also like that aspect on the Harry Potter movies. Basically, the movies get darker the more Harry Potter grows and evolves, and also evolves with us his because we all also get more mature. A lot of kids who started Harry Potter first, they were pre-teens when they start watching it, and they were
Right.
already 20s when the series almost finished. I think that's also a lot of recognition to in your character you love.
Yeah, but to be honest, it's a little bit different with comics somehow because Harry Potter, those all actors, they all grow and they grow older just like us.
Hmm.
And it took, I don't know how many movies there are, 12 or something, 11, 9 from Harry
No,
Potter.
I think 7 books, 8 movies,
8
right?
movies. Okay, good.
7 years, 7 school years, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, but when it comes to comics, they need to crank out every month a new comic from the same character, right? For years to come.
Yeah.
So because it's a was a million or $1 billion business, no, not anymore.
but to be honest, I'd love to see a new Indiana Jones movie with Harrison Ford looking like he did during Indiana Jones 1, 2,
We have the technology.
and 3. So you get back to that era, and you can forget about people getting older and the world changing. You just want to capture that essence, that
Right.
time.
I don't
So
want to.
they don't really need to age for me. It's unavoidable for movies,
But for comics, you
but
can
for comics you can drag it
yeah.
out.
As long as you wish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because well, I don't think that nobody wants to see a very old Indiana Jones
No,
doing
man.
stupid. I mean,
No, and
No,
they
that's
had
sad. That makes me sad.
they
I
had the
don't want to
perfect
see that.
opportunity in that fourth movie to really give the mantle, but they wrote such fucked up movie, and they had
yeah.
Shia LaBeouf as a main actor to continue the franchise.
Yeah, the legacy character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the most unreliable actor in
Yeah, he
Hollywood.
is
They
so,
should have
so
known that.
miscast. He's so
Yeah.
miscast. Yeah.
So they missed the boat on that one, and now you're like with the new James Bond movie. I'm fearing that also with the Indiana Jones movie, they want to replace him with a new character, probably a black female Indiana Jones as well. I don't know, but I think that's
Yeah.
stupid. You can also end the movie. For me, Indiana Jones is
You could
already the
just
three
end
movies.
it. Yeah,
The three
of
movies.
course.
It's fun. The three of them riding into the sunset. It's a nice, perfect ending.
Yeah, you know
Star
the thing
Wars, the
is,
dancing. It's a nice, perfect ending.
yeah.
Don't make new movies. Don't do it.
No, the thing is with Indiana Jones, you could have just ended the movie
Right.
franchise at the perfect time, and then you have characters like Lara Croft or Nathan Drake,
Oh yeah.
and you can
Yeah,
start new franchises
Bi-
with the same kind of audience, new characters. You don't
yeah,
need to repeat the same thing and bring Indiana Jones to life for like
totally
60
agree.
years.
I think Lara Croft was kind of a legacy person for Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Nathan
right,
Drake
right.
as well. Yeah, for
Mhm.
me, Indiana Jones is in my heart. And when I enjoy Indiana Jones, I watch the old movies. That's why I'm very worried about the new one. For me, the fourth movie is not canon. It's a fan film like the three last Star Wars
Yeah,
films. They
exactly.
made by fans that don't really know the franchise
Fans
Oh,
with too
with
much
too
money.
much money and yeah, too less inspiration.
Okay, Ryu says, for me, I like to continue reading my favorite characters as they are, like Bogdani, Michel Valiant.
yep.
Having said that, it sometimes depends on what the creator goes for. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ultimately,
Yeah.
it's a decision of the creator and what kind of world they want. Some worlds just work with progression of time, and other comic series like superheroes, they're like myths, like gods,
It does.
mythological beings, and 100 years from now you want to read the same characters, strong, fit, young.
Right. Yeah. When
um,
I think of Hercules, I don't see him as an old man. I see him as an immortal half god, in physical peak shape, lots of muscles, cool ribs, doing fantastic feats and have adventures, right? I don't see him as
right.
an old guy that says, "Oh, my back," something like that. Yeah. No.
So if I got it right, Marinus, you prefer comics to be timeless, so without progression
Well,
of
not all
time.
of them. Let's say the majority. Let's say no, it's probably a little bit biased. Um, the comics that I like, like Superman, like Batman, like Wonder Woman, they should be timeless. If a creator says, just like Eric Larson's Just Have a Dragon, if they say, you know what, I'm gonna um, make him older. I sometimes read those comics and I see what happened to that character. And trust me, this new Savage Dragon series that's been involved, because Savage
Yeah,
Dragon died and he came back and he's old. It's not fun anymore.
no.
With all those new characters, those characters are not fun.
but that's for me all these ongoing stories.
Mhm.
Years ago, Dave started reading The Walking Dead before it was popular. It
Right,
gained popularity. Dave was already reading that, and I was quite intrigued as well. I thought the artwork was perfect, especially the first four comics. I think it was drawn by a different
A
artist,
different
mhm,
artist, yeah.
and I love that artwork, and I love the black and white. I love the whole thing setting, and I was really hoping that it was a story with an end. That the creator wrote a story about this Walking Dead in this world, and that he has an ending in mind. But
right,
then it kept dragging on, and I thought it's already a walk, or it's already an ongoing series. I lost interest. The same with a lot of comics. I don't buy Spider-Man comics anymore. Not only because it's bad storytelling and bad creators, to be honest. Um, Sometimes when you read over and over every month the same thing, you get oversaturated.
yeah,
And if there's no progression, that's why I'm kind of for a little evolution or growing up of the characters, because it's character development as well. Then it keeps me intriguing. But it's hard to do that if you release a comic every single month, and
right,
even sometimes multiple series. You buy one character comics every single week, or sometimes they release it bi-monthly or tri-monthly, and I can just stop it.
Right.
Why not release every 6 months or every 4 months? Just do it quarterly, or you have more to look forward to.
Yes,
But
that's the
and you
business
have
model.
I know they need to make
Yeah.
money, but somehow you get oversaturated. And when you take more time than a month to release a comic, you also have more time to really write a good story and make good art. And that's what they're lacking nowadays. To be honest, they're not. Yeah.
The solution that I have for that, because I checked out in modern comics, I just quit collecting comics. I believe it's now 10 years ago. I believe maybe 8. I'm not entirely sure. And then since 2 years, I picked it up again, but not from the mainstream comics. I checked out because I don't like the stories anymore. Certain characters are not interesting anymore. And maybe you are right, Roland. Maybe we grow older. We have we've known these characters for so many years. We're collecting those comics so many times and so long that we've seen it all. And the direction that they are going is probably not for us anymore. Must be careful with that. So what I'm doing is I'm going into a different direction. What I'm trying to do is, instead of sticking with Marvel and DC all the time, I go to Image, I go to Boom Studios or Dynamite Comics or Dark Horse or whatever you prefer, or Indiegogo Comics or Kickstarter Comics and crowdfunding, to experience new, fresh comics. So, and sometimes I just pick up random comics just for fun. I have acquired this week something that I didn't know existed. It's from DC, and that's I always now lately go back to the older comics because that's, I think, was the best time. I picked up a miniseries. It's called Cinder and Ash. It's by Jerry Conway and
Jerry Conway.
and Jose El Garcia Lopez, who is very famous for his Justice League Superman in the past. This is a 4-issue miniseries, and I'm shocked how good it is, because this is a very mature story. It has elements that most people won't like. It's more, how do you say? Let me explain. There's 2 characters. They are some people for hire, if you will. They called Cinder and Ash. They do jobs, and then they are being stalked by a guy. And that guy was presumably dead because they say, "Hey, I shot that guy." And that guy the story takes also in, I believe, mid-70s, maybe 80s, because this comic is from 1988. And it was one of those guys called Ash. He was a soldier in the Vietnam War, and the things that happened there was terrible. So there was themes like, now let's say the swearing, the cursing, there is extortion, there is racism, and there is rape in here. This is a DC comic. This is a very mature comic. You don't see graphic things, but you see a lot of suggestions that you think, whoa. I mean, when I think of DC Comics, I think of the normal superheroes that you and I grow up to, right? Grew up with. But then I discovered lately that sometimes, I believe in the 80s, 90s, or maybe 80s, late 80s, DC put out a lot of mature comics that I didn't know if it existed. So I'm going back to a time period that I think, hey, man, this is something that I want to read, because what the mainstream media is now doing is not for me anymore, because I'm oversaturated with Spider-Man or maybe even a Batman, because how many times did he fight the Joker or Scarecrow? I don't want to see it anymore. I want something fresh. And there's a lot of comics there that I haven't seen or heard. So I've been stumbling here by accident, and I think it's freaking fantastic. Yeah.
Cool, man. Jerry Conway. He changed his name to Jerry Lost His Way.
Yeah. Jerry Conway is not the man that we love. No. I love his art. Don't get me wrong, but as a person, he's one crazy motherfucker, man.
Yeah, love the person, love the art. I think I can see them separately.
Yeah. I don't want to go in that direction, but his art,
that's another topic for another time. But I think maybe I don't know about you guys, and with your collections as well.
Mhm.
You go up and down, with your interest. I think I had a pause in my Spider-Man collection. I think already 3, 4, 5 times. I
Mhm.
stopped with Marvel, and then I went dabbing into a Dark Horse or some other comics, and I collect at that time Witchblade, for example, and the Darkness, and a bit of those. And I got bored of them again because the art was getting bad and the writing was getting
Right.
bad, and then you go back to the things you love again. Sometimes you just need a breather,
Exactly,
and
and
then you
that's
go. I don't know
there's
if you guys have the same. And
no.
then you go back again.
Yeah, I'm know exactly what you're saying, Roland. Let's say um, you describe it perfectly. If you have been seeing stories that's been retold in maybe a slightly different way, or maybe with another character with similar powers, like Superboy or Flash or Miles Morales or whatever, you get bored of it, right? I mean, there was a time that Spider-Man had a great villains, like the Vulture, like Electro, like Scorpion. Now they've been kicked in the ass for 2 seconds by new, old, younger characters. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't get that. They don't pose any threat or challenge. For me, that's an insult to what those characters were, because Spider-Man had a very hard time at some points dealing with those enemies, and now some legacy characters, quote unquote, by Marvel just kick their asses and saying, "Yay, Slay Queen!"
Yeah.
I'm done with that. I don't want to do that. So I'm going
Yeah,
back to the past. Get me some '90s comics or
or
some
new comics. Yeah,
yeah, or
or,
maybe from
or
companies. Yeah,
yeah, or finding new comics that were published in the past.
right, right.
Rediscovering. But hi David. Nice to have you in the
Hey, Mr.
feed.
Mr. Feed, how you doing, man?
Ooh, David. Hey, man. Welcome, welcome.
Okay, for first minutes in the replay. Well,
But yeah, I think you're right. But I think the new characters are just so written badly. The point is a new character. It's not exciting if they are stronger than our hero.
no,
That does not create the conflict or the threat. The threat
right.
is somewhere else in a personal life or some other level. More intelligent, or they can rattle their cage emotionally. I think the strength is not the main thing that should beat our hero. It should be
No,
more to do with the character. That's why the Joker and Batman are good arch enemies, or you have the
right.
Green Goblin and Spider-Man, because the Green Goblin, father of his best friend, it's
Yeah,
already a conflict,
yeah,
and he knows how to threaten Spider-Man, not by sheer strength, but by um, threatening him in his personal life or threatening him emotionally, beating him like that.
right.
I think that's way clever story writing than that just the thing. Just I don't know what's the obsession with superpowers and strength. Everybody needs to have the strongest superhero, strong
Yeah,
or villain, stronger than the hero. Why
that's
not?
that's that's the problem with these new creators.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
they
Yeah,
It's only
their
about power. No, it's
their
not.
intention is to to have these new characters, new because they are based on established characters.
mhm,
These new characters need to be bigger and better
yeah,
in every way than the old characters to lift themselves up and
yeah.
put um, the previous characters down. And this means they cannot be defeated, they cannot be challenged, they do everything better.
It's a trend nowadays, right? It's
Yeah,
really weird. It's really
Yeah,
weird to only that you can only be stronger if you put the other character, your opponent, down.
down. Yeah,
That, that,
exactly.
right.
ah, come on,
It
that's
No.
it
I mean,
it actually means that you are are weak because you
right,
need to put others down in order to look better.
exactly. I
Uh,
mean, for instance, like Captain Marvel. She started as Miss Marvel. She was a great character, right? She had a great costume, great character, great personality, with a lot of flaws. and a lot of weaknesses. And then they are changing her. She became binary. That was okay. She was cosmic powers. And then when she became Captain Marvel, her power set grew instantly. That comes with the movies. And then we see the comics. Then she had a Kree hammer. Then now she is a Sorcerer Supreme. They give her power level after power level after power level. And her books are getting canceled every time.
And good riddance.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
You need to bring her down to where she began.
Yeah, 58 Underground says it correctly. They don't focus on the characters, and they don't want new characters to have weaknesses. It's boring.
Exactly.
That's what probably the editors think, or the young people nowadays reading or not reading comics because they only complain about comics without ever read of them.
Yeah.
But I think having weaknesses is intriguing, is relatable, is exciting.
Because having weaknesses, that makes the character, not the strength.
Yeah, and having a weakness doesn't. Also, for a villain, it's more interesting villain because he can overcome his weakness the same way heroes do, and it only makes him a stronger villain, and that only makes him a more threat to the hero. If the villain can overcome something and the hero doesn't, then the hero needs to step up his game to overcome it as well. Otherwise, he can't defeat the villain. That is interesting. I would like to read those stories.
Should I give you a shocker?
Sorry?
Should I give you a shocker? What today has been releasing? There's on Screen Rant. It was a terrible website, by the way. The MCU secretly confirms how powerful Blade will be. In Loki episode 4, the Marvel Cinematic MCU subtly confirms that Mahershala Ali, that's the new Blade, will be amongst its most powerful characters. I'm checking out.
No, but wait. I think this is also a problem with the way we read media nowadays, or watch movies, or read comics.
Right.
For example, I went to the Black Widow movie, and it was a meh movie. It was not good. It was not bad. It was exactly what you expect from a Marvel movie. But afterwards, I was reading The Critical Drinker and like The Quartering, and they were all bashing on the movie, but they haven't seen the movie. The Critical Drinker probably did, but they were basically bashing the movie because of the marketing or what critics says about the movie, but it's not about the movie itself. And I thought I at least didn't see any anti-male or misogyny or whatever these hip words nowadays in the movie. I enjoyed the movie, and Black Widow is the same character as she was in Civil War, basically, and I love the new Black Widow, basically. I thought,
Can I ask
it's a Marvel movie. What more can you expect? But it was not like the Captain Marvel movie that it was blatantly anti-man, because to be honest, Captain Marvel in that movie was the villain. She was not a hero.
Absolutely.
But here, Black Widow is definitely a hero.
Yeah, okay, I get that. But correct me if I'm wrong, but let me ask you a question.
Sure.
I mean, the Taskmaster in comics is a male. Now she's a now it's a he, she. Jesus.
Spoiler alert, everybody! If you didn't watch the movie,
Too late.
We'll start at spoilers. Probably we start spoilers right now.
Yeah, become a pirate if you know what I mean. And also, is it true that there are no normal males in there? I mean, there is a fat guy that's been, being laughed at the whole time because he's fat and stupid.
Well, to be honest, male are always depicted fat and stupid throughout their ages. No, so there's no thing there. And Marvel always need to have a comedian element, and males are just better to laugh at than sexy females. And there was one normal. There were a few normal guys, but they were more in the background. It's a kind of action movie with a lot of female leads. No problem there. We have a lot of action movies with a lot of male leads and a few female sidekicks. Now it's the reverse. I don't see any problem and that I don't see a hidden message that it's anti-male or something. I don't see that.
No, okay, that could be true. Maybe I haven't seen the
And
movie.
to be honest,
Yeah.
that character, the male character, was good at heart. He was like in the end, he was like a hero. He sacrificed. He was good at heart, and he was not like dumb. He was kind of ignorant, or he was like his character, but he was not dumb or something.
Yeah, but I know what's his name again? Red Guardian, right?
Yeah.
It's his name?
Yeah.
I know it from the comics. He's not fat at all, or have a beard, or have a very skin tight suit that he's.
No, but that's what they like to play with, because he was also how say he was making big fish stories about how he fought Captain America, because they have the same power set and stuff.
Yeah,
but
okay.
they never met in the Marvel cinematic universe, and that's a bit funny because he missed his fame and glory while Captain America had his fame and glory.
Yeah,
So
okay.
this was a kind of running gag. They wanted to have this character in the movie, but you couldn't retcon him in the past. I thought it was funny. I don't. It's not exactly the storylines of the comics, but we already know that Marvel movies deviated quite a lot from that. So if you just run with the story they established in their own cinematic universe, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it was not the best movie, but I enjoyed. I didn't see any hidden messages. Maybe I'm ignorant. I need to watch it for the second time, probably. And there were some story elements from the Black Widow comics, but that's what Marvel do. They cherry pick some story elements from different series and comics, and I thought that was fine. And I think a lot of reviews from people like the Quartering who didn't watch the movies but are ranting on it. I think then it's just you do it for the clicks, because if you watch the movie, it wasn't that bad.
That's not entirely true. The Quartering is for the clicks. He's a clickbait site that I know, but there's also those statement. We spoke that a little bit last time about what Scarlett Johansson says. There's all news articles about this is a feminist movie, or that about avoiding the male gaze, and that she's sorry that she did the sexy scene 10 years ago, although she's
okay. But just earlier you said you can separate the creator from the work from the creator.
Yeah.
So just ignore the sort of statements. And she's still running around in a tight fit skin covering outfit.
Oh yeah, but that's not what I mean. I'm just, if you want to going to promote a movie, you don't talk about how bad sex or sexy characters is in the past, or speaking about woke stuff or feminist stuff. You need to promote the movie and say, you know what, this is the best fucking movie you're ever going to see. You need to watch this because just. And every article that comes out, and also that's clickbait, I know that. They also reverse that, instead of hyping up the movie, it's more putting the male down, and that's
my.
I ask you, and I'm just sick of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I totally agree. I think that's one of the big problems nowadays, because the comic probably isn't that bad. Like a Rock as a Jedi maybe isn't that bad if they have a good spin on it, if they really written a good story about it. But we don't know, because we're not interested in the comic, because we already get these marketing terms, like Rock and whatever. And it's the same with the Black Widow movie. We get all these marketing and interviews. They interview the stars, and of course the stars want to not only promote their movie but also promote their self-image. And nowadays it's hip to be woke, whatever. Yeah. But if you watch the movie, all those things in the interviews and that are being copied, and that's why you read it everywhere. But basically, it's on one interview, based on one interview.
Yeah.
But everybody's copying it, and makes a headline of it, and a different headline. You think, oh, it's everywhere. But after you actually watch the movie, you can't see anything what they put in the interview. You can't see it back, basically.
Yeah, well, Yeah, it could be, but I'm not gonna give Marvel my
They
vote.
here in this movie, at least not outrightly, they put men down. Not at all. Of course, they had a male character, like you said, was a bit fat and dumb, but it's in the story and it has a reason why he is an outwashed hero.
Right.
It has a reason, and that's why he also goes on to this adventure. And
Mhm.
then I think it's okay because it has a story purpose. And I didn't think he was a bad guy. Didn't think he was a weak man. Not at all. I maybe if I look at the movie closer and I really check if he was needed, in the story, was he actually worth in the story?
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know. That I just watched it and I didn't have my note, and I'm not a movie reviewer, but
No,
I
no, no.
enjoyed the movie overall. And I think a lot of these articles nowadays really ruins movies and comics and books
Sure.
because they say, "Oh, this comic or book or movie is anti-male or is feminist movie."
Mhm.
And I think, okay, you have three good actresses in a
Yeah.
movie.
Actresses.
They are lead characters. It's I don't see it as a feminist movie because you have three very good actresses in the movie. Is that come on? Is Terminator 2 or 1 a feminist movie? No.
No,
Is Charlie's Angels? The old one. Is that really feminist movie?
no, but
We
those the problem is that
the new one is definitely,
yeah,
but
but there was not a time that the whole woke stuff is being pushed every 24 seconds, right? They are doing now, and maybe I'm so over triggers maybe are probably a
you're in
wrong
your
word.
bubble as well. You're in your bubble that you read only the stuff people say about this is bad, this is bad, anti-man, feminist, this and this
No,
and
not
this.
really. I can be
But if you shut
objective.
it off, because I didn't watch
That's
the
probably yeah.
interview
Mhm.
from
I'm too
Scarlett
sour.
Johansson until you said it,
Yeah,
and I was kind of going bland in the movie, and then it's okay,
well, could be.
I think. But yeah, I think the,
I just
the
don't
the
like the
whole buzz
direction that
around
they're
it
going.
makes it worse. I'm sorry.
I just like I said, I just don't like the direction, and you see it with the Loki TV series. What they are doing with that character is just terrible.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
sick of seeing my favorite characters being destroyed for politics and woke points and Twitter clicks, etc. And that's why I'm checking out. And if and maybe you're right, maybe it's a very good movie. I just need to see it first.
It's
But
not a good movie. It's okay,
it's a media.
nice
Okay,
movie.
okay, it's okay. Six
Yeah,
out of 10, maybe.
a seven minus.
Yeah,
You know what I was expecting? I love Red Sparrow. Did you watch that movie?
yeah. With what's her name?
And you had Atomic Blonde.
I haven't seen that.
Both great movies,
Yeah,
very nice action, good stories, good actresses, and
yeah,
strong female leads as well. They're not only physical strong or smart, they have wits, they really stand on their own, but they
mhm,
also have weaknesses and they get
sure.
really in trouble. And I was kind of hoping the Black Widow would be that because the Red Sparrow movie, you can replace her basically with the comics Red Black Widow,
Right.
the Red Sparrow. She was also a
Yeah,
ballerina,
it's a spy movie. Right.
Yeah. I kind of hoped that it would be like that, but the Black Widow in the Marvel universe is already like progressed, evolved, and I don't think you can do a movie with her like that anymore. So I was kind of hoping for that, but it was like lesser than that. The main gripe I had with the movies. With this movie was the action scenes because the other two movies I mentioned about this female spy movie, action
Right.
movie, the stunts are amazing. If you also saw Atomic Blonde and the Red Sparrow, you saw
Yeah.
the fight in the
Great.
hallway or in the stairway. It's
Right.
amazing. It's real with real stunt women, stunt people, and it's awesome. And when you see the Black Widow movie, you think, oh, but there's no tension because it's a CG character being busted and against
Yeah,
the
exactly.
the wall.
It's
There
not.
was one
Yeah.
scene I was really impressed with the stunt work, and that was in the kitchen fairly early in the movie but early is relative because the movie had 40 minutes for setup. So it was a long setup, but still, that was one of the best action scenes I saw. But all the action scenes were quite short. But the action scenes, like the big one, it is only CGI. You see it, you feel it, and then you don't get immersed, because when you see a real life stunt, you really feel what the stunt man or stunt woman feels when they hit the ground, padded or not padded. You could feel the hurt. Right. And that's what Marvel is lacking, I believe. That was my main gripe with the movie. And Taskmaster, maybe another point for another evening topic.
Yeah, I'm not going into that, but I would say I'm just sick of stuff. And then because I just want to have one movie that has exactly or as close as to the original characters, right? And then make a kick-ass movie out of that.
Well, Watchmen.
Oh, let's change this, or let's change that, and let's do this. No, this is changing because I'm sick of that. Just make an original character like in the comics. How hard can it be? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry for the rant, guys.
No, but I like this discussion basically.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong in our discussions. Everybody has their own opinions and views.
No,
that's okay.
It's really cool when you have different viewpoints and just let people talk. That's great. Yeah. Fantastic. So
amazing characters to Black Widow.
Yeah, well, it kind of overlaps because Scarlett Johansson is getting into her 40s now.
Like yeah.
So and for a female superhero, that's perhaps a good time to retire.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, the other Rachel Weisz was in the movie. I love the actress Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, she's good.
And I my first encounter with her consciously was with The Mummy. I love the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
And of course, Marvel, Disney, they always start with a piece of the past. They can use their de-aging software. You see it always. That's the new thing at Marvel.
Not really good.
Oh,
usually.
Yeah, it did. Really. Rachel Weisz was done perfectly. Harper, I don't know, because maybe it's a guy, you shave his beard and he looks young probably. But Rachel Weisz was really done great. And even you see her later in the movie being older, she's still a very gorgeous, beautiful woman. And but she can kick ass. She didn't really did a lot of stunts. But still, I think older women, older actresses. Look at Red. You know the movie Red with all the old people, spy movie, with Bruce Willis, with all these famous older actors. Look it up, Red.
Red. Yeah,
Red.
retired.
Retired. You have 2 movies of those.
Yeah.
They can hold a movie on their own, older actress as well. And Rachel Weisz, why not? She can do an action movie or, a spy movie or... and she's still
And so
great.
can Harrison Ford, goddammit.
Well, are you trying a little bit? I don't know, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, cool discussion, guys.
Yeah.
So, just over 1 hour. That's great.
Right?
Right.
Old
That's
people
good,
are cool.
Yeah. People have been telling us, keep it short.
Keep it short, yeah. Nobody wants to watch it for 2 hours with talking.
No, it's and
back in my day.
It's actually pretty difficult to make short streams. There's so much to talk about, Yeah. So, but it was a good one.
Yeah. So, do we all agree, right, that superheroes should stay the same, or not?
I don't think we all agree.
Depends on the medium and the character.
Yeah, depends on the concept. When it's superheroes, I prefer superheroes to stay young and fit.
Me too.
Also with these adventure books like like Tintin. To me, the adventure itself is the main draw, and Tintin is the character through which you live it, and he doesn't have to grow older, you know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Sometimes the adventure is more important than the character, and with Tintin, that's definitely so. The adventures are awesome, and Tintin is not really a character in that sense.
No,
Tintin is quite bland.
Yeah, he's kind of a blank slate.
Yeah, he's a one-dimensional character.
Yeah,
and the supporting cast, like the two detectives and the professor, they are, and the captain, especially the captain, they are real characters. They have personalities, and that forms the adventure.
Yeah, because imagine if those characters were not there because they are too old or they are dead.
Right.
You know, if we have an old Tintin, it's not the same, right?
But these characters
I agree with you.
Change.
Yeah.
These characters do not change. You pick up one comic from Tintin and the captain, he's exactly the same, you know, and that's what people like.
But the
they want
thing
to
is,
see that character.
With Tintin, we're not oversaturated because the albums came out every single year.
Yeah.
And it's different with comics. They come out every single month or more. Yeah. And if you then have a character that stays the same every single time, it gets boring real fast.
Yeah.
And that's my point. If it's an ongoing series, let them evolve, let them grow up. If it's a minute, shorter series, less releases, let them stay the same for 20 years if you have 20 comics in that sense.
Right.
Sure. Yeah,
at least my opinion on the matter.
Your opinion doesn't matter. Cancel him, man. Let's put him out of the stream.
No!
You are getting canceled. No.
Great.
No. Bye, Roland. See you never again.
Bye. Okay. Well, early close.
Yeah.
Oh, what's happening here? You want to come back, Roland?
Oh, maybe if you apologize.
Sure, you canceled me.
Okay, guys. Let's wrap this up now. So, Marinus, you have your own channel where you do reviews of comic books.
Yeah,
I put the link to your channel in the description, so everyone check out Marinus' channel.
Subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, you have many uploads, man. Every week, like 5.
Yeah, I try to do it daily, but it depends if I have to work on that day and on specific time as well. But I try to do it once or twice, maybe once a day.
Okay, cool.
Where do you find the time, guy?
Well, you read a comic and then you make a review of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Easy. Well, it's not easy to talk about it, but easy to read it. Yeah.
Okay, Roland, you have a closing statement?
Enjoy your comics, enjoy your movies, enjoy your own opinion, and you don't have to go into fights and stuff like that. Just peacefully talk about it and just enjoy life. Just relax. Be a fencer.
Yeah, man.
Not a boxer.
Or a boxer, you know. It's all good.
A boxer.
Thanks to 58 Underground for being here.
Yeah.
Ryu, David. Thanks, guys. If you like this, please like and subscribe to the channel and share, and you know the drill. Maybe we see each other next week with a new topic and a new rant from Marinus.
And if you have suggestions for topics, please write them in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Or contact Dave and Marinus on Twitter or other way. We love to also hear what you are thinking and want to hear us talk about.
Absolutely. Great show. Guys.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.